Climate, where you are. Here you go. I'll let you introduce it
Yep.
yourself.
I'm sure I'm going to be making a lot of enemies tonight, so. Yeah, for just a second.
Cool. So just tell them to start.
Yeah.
Can everybody see, by the way?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kedar. I'm from India, and I've been in Myanmar for a year and 2 months, and I've been working here as a physics teacher in one of the international schools. And I'm here to talk about the flip side and, the side that you know of climate change. All right. So what is this dichotomy about climate change? I mean, we know the one side of the story, is it not? Like Al Gore presenting his inconvenient truth and saying that, okay, Arctic ice will melt in 2013, and the IPCC coming out with a report saying that, Himalayas will lose their ice by the year 2035. But, he said, Al Gore, that in 2013 Arctic ice will melt, but it hasn't happened. Actually, in 2013, they found that Arctic ice actually grew in size. So what's happening here? So the whole movement against climate change, against the science of climate change that is accepted by everyone else, started with Al Gore's his inconvenient truth becoming the untruth. Actually, they found it's not that true, and they started questioning this whole science. And there is a whole sizable population in the world who are actually believing that maybe it's not man-made. I mean, there is a sizable population who believe that, okay, global warming is happening, but there is a sizable population that says, okay, what about 1977? You said there was a scientific background for global cooling. What about that? Should we dismiss that science? What about the? I mean, what happened to science after? All right, and so anyone who goes into questioning the present science that propagates or indoctrinates people, as I would like to call it, with the global warming situation, they would, sorry for the grammatical error. They're called heretics. And they would be dismissed outright even before they are heard. So what is the situation right now? How is the division of opinion, or how is the division of population? I mean, the statistics are really muddled. I was searching through the internet, and I was getting so many contradictory statistics, which says, okay, 90% believe, 90% don't believe. But why do they don't believe? Because tell me if someone can understand that graph. It's bloody complicated. I mean, the science is so complicated that for a common man, it is really, really hard to comprehend what climate science is all about. All right? And a graph like this, they cannot provide proof of man-made global warming. They can only take the best feedback estimates of the projection models and apply them to the past. I mean, whole global warming science is based on mathematical modeling, computer modeling. And they say, okay, this much carbon dioxide is going to go into the atmosphere in the next 10 years, and this much will be the global warming. And I mean, the more, like the predictions, I mean, the more carbon dioxide you put into your climate model, the more warming it'll show. But you have no guarantee that much carbon dioxide is going to go in the atmosphere in the future. So this was the prediction that they made in 1979 was global cooling. But what happened in 2011? The Arctic ice decreased. I mean, but in 2012 it decreased further, and in 2013 it increased. So you don't know what's happening with climate science right now. It's so complicated. There are so many factors in climate science that, I mean, if everyone's talking about, okay, global warming is happening. Yes, it is happening. There is a change in the climate of the earth. But is it anthropogenic in nature? We don't know. And there was a lot of emphasis on, and this is the Antarctic ice, and it's even more hard to predict because in the same year, in 2 months, there is so much change. And anyone who goes about telling that, okay, I know what's happening to the climate because I see these many changes happening right now, he's either talking out of his head or he doesn't know how the science works. So before the whole global warming movement started, it was the emphasis on the sun and the cosmic rays. And people who talk against climate change right now, they say that, okay, the real warming is because of sun and cosmic rays. But are we sure? We don't know. Because until here, the carbon dioxide and the climate follows the sun, the activity of the sun. But later, in the last 10, 20 years, it stopped following. It's like the sun comes out with a lot of charged particles, and the cosmic rays coming into the earth, they form clouds. And I mean, I don't know how to simplify this further. I have to go into technicalities, but I'll not go. Okay. The whole problem with the science today is that, okay, there is intense winters. There are intense winters all over the world, and there is warming in a pocket of, in a place, in a remote place, and that is integrated over the whole world as global warming. And over the last 17 years and 9 months, they have not seen global warming. I mean, temperatures increase. But this year has been designated by scientists as the warmest year in years. Okay, so yeah, before 17 years there was global warming, 2 decades there was no warming, and now you have warming again. And this is how people see it. It's like, this is the opposite side of it. All right, this is about this cartoon is about people who deny global warming. All right, they think that it's man-made global warming is not happening. And so where are we right now? We don't know. We just have to wait and watch how Mother Nature reacts to our, constant polluting, constant meddling of Mother Nature. And this was a book written by a famous climatologist, meteorologist, I would say, and it was a bestseller. And he goes into technicalities and the science of, how sun or cosmic rays are affecting climate change. And it's not humans who are affecting climate change. And there is a whole bunch of population in the world who believes in it. And I as a person who has studied physics, I don't know whether to believe them or the other side, I'm trying to be objective. Whom do you believe? The science is substantial on either side. So whom do you believe? I don't know. And yeah, that's what the experts say. Climate models are running too hot. Current flat trend may continue for 2 more decades, but we don't know. As I said, as you factor in more carbon dioxide, you have more warming. It's the mathematical model, but we don't know what's happening right now. This is more about the propaganda of the other side, like who do not believe in global warming, how the information passes on. And it has gone to the point where, okay, it has become politically incorrect to not believe in global warming. All right? And I don't think that is true, though, by the way. Yeah, I just put it because it was funny. Yeah. All right. Yes.
Me.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, I'm
Hello.
Victoria. So I was fact checking you the entire time that you were talking.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. So you're right that there was a decrease in global warming this past year, but historically for the last 50 years there has been an increase, and it isn't a year of El Nino currently, so of course temperatures are going to be a little funky. So my first question is, do you believe that we should be curtailing greenhouse emissions, and how do you also account for that hole existing at the south of our ozone layer and how that impacts global climate change? Because I'm not going to say global warming, but I do say global climate change and how it affects our world. Yeah,
I believe in climate change. It is happening right now for sure. I mean, I have a problem when people say that, okay, it's only humans that are causing it. I mean, I believe in the fact that yes, humans have added a substantial amount of pollutants into the atmosphere, and post-industrial revolution, we have added a lot of pollutants. But if you do not factor in other factors, other natural factors like vegetation, there is a whole lot of carbon dioxide that gets thrown into the atmosphere through vegetation, through volcanoes, and the oceans, they absorb a lot of carbon dioxide, and the recycling of carbon dioxide when it happens in the upper layers of the atmosphere, no one considers that. Like, do we have in the atmosphere?
Oxygen.
Sorry.
Asking about oxygen.
Sorry.
Carbon dioxide.
No, I mean I'm getting to that. I mean the ozone layer she asked for.
Oh, okay.
That's what she asked. I mean.
You just said that plants give out carbon dioxide.
No, I said the vegetation.
The vegetation, yeah.
I mean vegetation. Okay, when I say vegetation, it's trees, and also during when they shed off leaves, they give. I mean the leaves give out carbon dioxide. It's not, and the trees, they don't always give out oxygen. During the night, they give out carbon dioxide.
But
All right, you have to factor in that as well. Sorry.
on the most part, they give out the photosynthesis.
Let's say 12 hours day, 12 hours night, 12 hours during the day they give out oxygen, and 12 hours during the night they give out carbon dioxide. And when they shed off leaves, all the drying out leaves, they do give out carbon dioxide. Volcanoes, they give out carbon dioxide. Oceans, they breathe in carbon dioxide and they breathe out carbon dioxide. So what I'm saying is that I believe in the polemic that says yes, there is an anthropogenic cause for the climate change, but you should also consider Mother Nature, that and the ozone layer. Yes, I mean the chlorofluorocarbons, the hydrofluorocarbons, they do cause a depletion in the ozone layer, and the recent climate talks in Paris that concluded for the first time. The talks concluded as a legally binding mechanism to reduce greenhouse gases and chlorofluorocarbons. And I believe that yes, we have to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, but it's a divide between the developed world and the developing world, and it's a whole different question, because it's easy for the developed world, that has almost exhausted its fossil fuels, to say to India, to China, to Africa, don't use your fossil fuels anymore.
I think you need to define global cooling as well.
Hold on, guys.
Sorry?
You need to define global cooling as well, which is heavily reliant on particulate matter, not carbon. And I think you conflate the two, because carbon-based global warming is different than particulate matter-oriented global cooling.
Yes, I was talking about cosmic rays, and I didn't want to. I mean, I would be happy to explain, what happens cosmic rays and how global cooling happens because of cosmic rays when they hit the Earth's atmosphere.
Particulate matter and the differential in particulate matter. There's also a class politics in how developing countries are treated vis-a-vis developed countries, which is important, but the way in which particulate matter interacts with the atmosphere is undisputed, and that it causes global cooling that masks the net effects of global warming. It's a masking effect.
Having said that, clouds play a major role in cooling the climate.
So does particulate matter.
I'm coming to that.
All right.
Particulate clouds, the particulate matter help in the formation of the clouds. So the more clouds you have, more particulate matter. But the question of particulate matter pollution also comes in. Particulate matter help in the formation of the clouds, but they also, aggravate the pollution, the ambient pollution that we have.
Let's move on to one more
They-
question, just because of time.
Back and forth
guys.
battery life.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think you
Thank you.
answered
Thank you for
answered her
addressing.
question.
Thank you.
Pat, you have one more question?
I just wondered, I
Yeah.
love the controversial topic. So you said that man-made, you don't think it's all about man-made pollutants, even though you've said that the earth basically breathes. But a lot of the things that man does is just give. It doesn't. We don't breathe it back in. how much pollutants have we put into the atmosphere over the last 100 years, and how would you say that hasn't necessarily wholly contributed to the correlating CO2 and the environmental effects?
Okay. If we take the whole atmosphere has 100%, you know, if you count the percentage of gases in the atmosphere, nitrogen accounts for 78%, oxygen 21%, and of all those gases, if you look at carbon dioxide, it accounts for 0.54%, and that is after the post-industrial revolution pollution that we have done, and it's a minute amount that is naturally present, and you add the amount of CO2 that humans are adding to this 0.54% of the 100% of Earth's atmosphere, that is really, really small.
And what about the other ones, all the other
greenhouse gases?
Yeah, what's the other changes? Not just the CO2.
Okay.
What's the rest of it?
They also form a really small gamut of all these gases. But the reason why everyone talks about CO2 is because the effect, methane is another biggest global greenhouse gas. Water vapor is by far the biggest greenhouse gas. The largest greenhouse gas that you can find in the atmosphere. No one thinks about it. Everyone talks about CO2. It's good that you brought this topic because like nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, they are greenhouse gases as well. But the impact caused by methane or CO2 is far, far greater than the other greenhouse gases. So to answer your question, the focus is right now on CO2 because the impact, there is an impact, but it's minute. But again, for the fear of being, contradicted by everyone, I do believe that 0.45% to which humans are adding to it is minimal, but we are adding to it. But a large percentage of that naturally occurring carbon dioxide comes from the earth itself, and we don't ask questions like, okay, does the carbon dioxide break down when it goes into the atmosphere? Right now, do we still have the carbon dioxide that America and England, spewed out into the atmosphere right at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution? Do we have this, same carbon dioxide molecules that were spewed out 200 years ago?
Well,
do you think so? I don't know.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's not necessarily a global north, global south developing world issue. Like you say, it's sort of like, well,